Hello and welcome everyone again into another video, and in today's video I will be talking about one of my favorite cups which we will be having tomorrow in less than 24 hours. Retro Cup. Retro Cup is by far one of my favorite themed Great League cups. Why? Retro Cup is one of the only cups where like the bans were strict to some types, so even if that type is a subtype, it's still banned. No dark, no steel, no fairy. The three types that everyone always complain about, which mean no stuff that just destroy everything, like no Bastiodon, no Dark, no Sableye, no Umbreon, no Fairy, no A9, no A9 again. It's a Great League format, so 1500 CP is the limit. There are some interesting Pokemon. There are some Pokemon that we've seen all over the place, and if we check the PvPoke ranking, Lickitung is #1 by far. Aurora's #2, that's a sus rank. Pidgeot, Noctowl, Frostlass, Altaria, Jellicent, I don't know, Pelipper, Mantine, Golbat, that's sus. Regirock, that's fine. Lantern. Now we're talking business. Okay. You know what, let's just go and talk about the Pokemons. As always, I've defined them into leads, generalist, counter swap. Counter swap are like those the Pokemon like you use to counter swap someone. Whenever they swap something, you have a hard counter. It's not like generally a safe swap because there is no safe swap anymore. So lead. Pelipper is generally known for being one of the best leads / safe swaps. Okay. Trevenant used to be like the best lead in this cup. And then I think Caleb Pink started running something like Zangoose, which completely wall the Trevenant and like completely bully the Trevenant as well. Stuff like Dugong are still good because you just debuff your opponent to the Oblivion and then you just fight for lead, then when swap, then most likely win the game, especially if you are like in the low range elo. But the best Pokemon here, we all know that it's Lantern. This Pokemon is OP. This Pokemon is broken. This Pokemon is the best Pokemon in the entire Great League format. So if you haven't built your Lantern, I don't know what you're waiting for. This Pokemon can never go. You can never go wrong with this Pokemon, especially in the current season. Okay, next season there might be some nerfs around Lantern, but I don't think it will be bad. It will always be good. Counter swaps, double as like something that's decent. I still don't have one. Okay. So I didn't want to make a video about double just because I don't have one. There's nothing I can do. Why double is good? I mean, having payback and wild charge gives it like some respect where the opponent always will be scared to not shield. Like if they are flyer, they will be threatened by the wild charge. If they are ghost or psychic, they will be threatened by the payback. Regirock is like the fastest Regi to get to a charge move. It's decent in this cup because Medi is not as good in this cup as in the other ones, because Medi generally is used as the ultimate dark / steel counters, but there is no dark, there is no steel, so Medi isn't as good, or that's how PvPoke is showing so far. Jellicent used to be the best safe swap in this cup, but with the ghost being around, stuff like Trevenant, stuff like Coffin, stuff like Noctowl or Pidgeot, prevent it from being like the ultimate safe swap. Abomasnow is actually good in this cup, much better than the Open Great League, because there is always lots of people who would run Altaria or Noctowl or Lantern, and Abomasnow is the only Pokemon that can beat Lantern and the Flyers. Try to think of anyone. You could say Altaria that can do that. Yeah, that's probably it. But the only Pokemon that can destroy Altaria / the Flyers / Lantern, it's only Abomasnow. So that's the main use of Abomasnow, and always if you're gonna use Abomasnow, please use the Shadow. Why? Because it hits harder. It makes it win against the stuff where you take super effective and you do super effective, especially against the Flyers. Generalists are like the Pokemon that do good against everything. They are good lead, they are good swap, they are also good closers due to their fast move pressure / charge moves. The main Pokemon that here comes to my mind: Pidgeot, Frostlass, and Toxapex, Noctowl. Lickitung, the best Pokemon in this cup. So I'm assuming since Lickitung is the best Pokemon in this cup, everyone's either gonna run Lickitung with 2 anti-Noctowl or 3 answers to Lickitung. Toxapex is a Pokemon that If you're not running a hard answer, it's tough to beat. Deoxys defense used to be like the best anti-meta Pokemon in this cup, and then it fell off after because people were like just running double ghost because everyone was using DD. Walrein got rebalanced to the Icicle Spear, but it still hasn't gotten its place in the meta due to the fact that Aurus is just straight better. Like, why would you use Walrein when Aurus does everything better? And Aurus has one of the best busted charge moves in the game right now, which is the Meteor Beam, where like even if they shield it, it's worth throwing Meteor Beam because it's just a guaranteed boost to your fast move as well. Cresselia is a good safe swap in this cup. I'm not like Cresselia is not the type of Pokemons I would like to run, but it's still a decent Pokemon. Now moving, those are like the main meta stuff. Don't sleep on Dugong. Dugong is crazy good nowadays. And if you haven't Elite TM'd one, this is the time. Now moving to the anti-meta Pokemons. Anti-meta Pokemons are Pokemons that aren't as strong, but they do have some positive matchup against the top meta Pokemons. And the number one Pokemon that comes to my mind here, Shadow Dragonair. Why Shadow Dragonair? It's one of very few Pokemons that can beat Noctowl and Lantern both. And there is not that many. Okay? You could say Munchlax can do that, but with Munchlax you need a crazy good traded IB. Another one that comes to my mind here, Dragalge, maybe, but Dragalge against Noctowl is actually a bad matchup for Dragalge because there is no charge move pressure, it's just pass move pressure. Como isn't bad against both. Something to mention here, Dugong can beat Water Gun Lantern. If they have Water Gun, Dugong destroys it actually. Vigoroth isn't bad either. This Pokemon here, this is Dragon, Dradigen or something, isn't bad, but it's too frail. Celio is something I was running like at the end of last retro cup rotation due to the fact that it's just so spammy and it beats the other water and beats the other ice because it has body slam. Something worth mentioning here, Zapdos. It's worth mentioning. Why? Because there's so many flyers and people started using people started using Medicham later in the cup. And you know what, let's just go and talk about the top teams now. We talked enough about the Pokemons that you could use. What about the top teams that people are expected to run? The number one team according to PvPoke, if you go to build a team around Lickitung, it will suggest Lickitung, Lantern, Noctowl. This team looks like an Open Great League team. This team is decent in Open Great League, so it should be decent anywhere. If you are like struggling in the low elo bracket, this is the best team you could run. It has a decent bulk, crazy bulk, 2 good safe swap, 3 generalists that can do great everywhere. Nothing technically walls this team. I guess Obama Snow Lead is a bit tough, but you can literally run this team in any order like this. You could do this, any order. If Lickitung Lead is not working, you switch it like this. Then you have ABB. And then you're weak to Water Gun Lantern. You do this, Spark Lantern in the lead, then you can beat Water Gun Lantern in the lead. So this is like, on paper, what's supposed to be the best team. But there is also something we always advertise in this channel, which is the top 3 PvPoke. The best 3 Pokemons on PvPoke according to the current ranking on the Retro Cup. For the Retro Cup, top 3 are Lickitung is number 1, Aurus is number 2, Pidgeot is number 3. The only problem with this team is that every Pokemon here lose to Lantern. You might be saying that Lickitung can beat Lantern. Yes, it's a soft win and it could be soft loss depending on the timing, depending on multiple factors. But neither of these any Pokemons appreciate seeing Lickitung. So these are the teams that people will generally run the first 2 hours. What's the team I will be running? The team I will be running, again, this is the season where I'm just running Shadow Dragonair. And I love using Greedent, especially in this cup. Greedent was my best Pokemon last Retro Cup rotation. Lickitung is there as something I will be replacing. Lickitung is not there as something I have. It's just something I will be replacing eventually. So with this team, you need a quick attack on Greedent. Dugong in the lead is going to be extremely tough to beat, but it should be manageable because Lickitung has Power Whip, as you guys all know. But this is, I ran a couple teams before. And the team I used to run before in the Retro Cup, which is Shadow Gyarados Double Legacy. So you need Aqua Tail and you need Dragon Tail. Why Dragon Tail? It helps you win against stuff like Frostlass, and you don't have to care about timing as because with one turn you get to rely on the animation. So if the animation is scuffed, you're gonna end up giving them free fast move. Where if you run 3 turns fast move, you just do count, you do 1 then throw. That's good timing. You do 3 then throw. That's also good timing. Gradient as a good cover to Gyarados. And I used to run Frostlass, but this team shouldn't work anymore because Lantern is something in the meta. So if they have Spark Lantern, it's kind of GG. So the third, I think you do something like this. You take the Licky Tank from here, and then you post it here, and you get yourself something that's decent. Water Gun Lantern, Gyarados can beat. If they have Water Gun, this thing, if you have Bullet Seed, you should be fine. And Licky Tank should be fine as well. The name of the video on my YouTube channel, Double Legacy Shadow Gyarados in the Retro Cup Pokemon Go Battle League Great PvP. This is some scuffed title, but yeah, this is the title of the video about this team. If you would like to go and watch it, feel free to do that. Now moving into some teams I'm expecting to be meta, and the first one is ABB Double Normal Frostlass lead, or could be Dugong lead. Okay, any team where you see some Frostlass, you could run Dugong, you could run Auroras. That makes it why Frostlass I have here, because if you have Dugong, that will make it a bit weak to Medi and DD. So I have Frostlass here as a DD / Noctowl answer. So it's an ABB team, so you have to save your A and bait out the flyer with one of the Bs. I would bait out with the flyers with Gradient, because Gradient isn't bad. While Lickitung just get walled, all the fast move goes to nothing. 3 meta stuff team, it's just basically 3 stuff that do fine against everything. I think Trevenant doesn't exist anymore. Frostlass, DD, with Gradient. I think with this team you actually need Bullet Seed Gradient, because Lantern is a bit tough to beat. Another team, Signal Virgin. Yeah, this team Signal, my teammate used to run a couple seasons ago. Frostlass, Lickitung, Regirock, but it shouldn't work anymore. It's not as comfortable as to run like in the previous season. Why? Because Lantern is just OP. Lantern back in the days didn't have Surf. Now it has Surf, okay? Budget team. 3 Pokemons that everyone should have. No legendaries, because most of the stuff before had legendaries, they had XLs. So if you don't have Lickitung, you could rely on Gradient. Gradient is actually decent, and it has a variety of fast moves where you could run either Tackle or Bullet Seed. Both has their advantages and disadvantages in the current meta. Walrein, again, it got a decent buff, and you might need something that is not Frostlass here, just to beat the opposing Lantern. You could run Spark Lantern here instead, in fact, and you should be fine. Some not budget team, you know, these are budget team, not budget team, which is a team that consists of triple legendary Pokemon, so Zapdos, Regirock, and Cresselia. I don't think you need EQ on Regirock, because I am not sure if two Stone Edges will KO the Lantern. If it does, then you don't need EQ. If it doesn't, then you need EQ. You need to check the matchups for this. Triple normal team. Just 3 normal Pokemons. You cannot run this. Why? Because it's extremely weak to Pidgeot. So if you want to run this, you have to go here, bring an owl, and this owl should be an attack weighted, so you can win CMP against the opposing Noctowl. So don't run Noctowl that lose CMP with this team. Be aware. Another triple normal team. The monkey here, we used to like I remember like last Little Cup at the end, it became meta due to the fact because people were running Frostlass and DD, and this thing is fine against both, so it can be a decent safe swap. With the current meta, I don't think it's as viable, but hey, don't sleep on it. It might have some play. And for the other two, you have to choose Noctowl, so you can have like a decent matchup against what? Against Noctowl itself. Triple Ice. We know, like, it's a streamer, his name is Planab, always run double ice. So why not running triple ice, you know? ABB weak to counter, and Frostlass is there to be the counter users. Okay, what about triple dragon? Can you use it? You can literally use any 3 types, same type in this cup. Why? There is no fairy. You could run triple dragons. There is no dark. You could run triple ghost. There is no fairy. You could run triple counter users. Okay. Speaking of triple counter, we can use 3 counter users. For the triple counter users, you need to use a Prime Ape. Why Prime Ape? Because it has Ice Punch. Surfetch, I don't like Surfetch in this cup. I prefer Surfetch more in Open Great League, but here I prefer Prime Ape because it has Ice Punch instead of... While Surfetch has Leaf Blade Night Slash, which is like kind of redundant in this cup. Medi is not must. You could replace it with DD. DD is not must. You could replace it with Medi, but Vigoroth could be replaced by Dubwall, by the way. This is the team I most likely will end up running. Noctowl, Licky Tongue with Surfetch. Surfetch Loki still lose the 0. Surfetch lose the 0 to Lantern Water Gun, I think. So be aware of that. You always need to save your shields to Surfetch. Some honorable mentions to some Pokemons here. Crustle isn't bad. Shadow Machamp isn't bad. Alolan Graveler has never been bad. Any cup where there is Frostlass, you could just run Alolan Grab and destroy it. Cradily isn't bad. Caracosta isn't bad. Mew deserves some honorable mention. Boldor, that's some copium Pokemon. And Chestnut isn't bad as well. Luxray isn't bad because it has Ice Fang and Snarl. And this Pokemon here, Drifblim, isn't bad either. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching. This is the end of the video. If you like the content, please leave a like. If you see the channel, make sure to subscribe. And good luck with your Retro Cup battles. See you in the next video. Peace.